The gymnasium fell silent as 12-year-old Lily Martin wheeled herself to the center of the dance floor, her eyes fixed on her father who stood awkwardly at the edge of the crowd. "I'm in a wheelchair, Dad," she announced, her voice echoing through the speakers, "but that doesn't mean I can't have my father-daughter dance." What happened next would leave not a dry eye in the room and change their lives forever. If this story touches your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring real-life stories that remind us of the power of love and resilience. Your support helps us continue sharing these moments that matter. The morning of the father-daughter dance began like any other in the Martin household. David Martin, a 38-year-old single father, moved through their modest two-bedroom apartment with practiced efficiency, preparing breakfast while calling out reminders about homework and afternoon schedules. 6 years of solo parenting had turned him into a well-oiled domestic machine, though the dark circles under his eyes betrayed the toll it took. "Lily. Breakfast's ready, sweetheart," he called down the hallway, flipping the last pancake onto a plate shaped like a cartoon character that his daughter had long outgrown but refused to part with. No response came from Lily's room. David sighed, wiping his hands on a dishcloth before making his way down the narrow hallway. He knocked gently on her door. "Lily? You awake in there?" When he pushed the door open, he found his 12-year-old daughter already dressed, sitting in her wheelchair by the window. She was staring outside, her long brown hair, so much like her mother's, cascading down her back. "Hey, pancake monster," he said with forced cheerfulness. "Food's getting cold." Lily didn't turn around. "I'm not hungry." David entered the room and crouched beside her wheelchair. "What's going on, Lil? You love Pancake Thursdays." She finally looked at him, her eyes, Sarah's eyes, rimmed with red. "Maddie's dad is taking her shopping for a new dress today. For the dance tomorrow night. The father-daughter dance." David's stomach dropped. With work deadlines and bill payments and physical therapy appointments, he'd completely forgotten. "The dance," he repeated, his mind racing to figure out how he could possibly rearrange his schedule to take her shopping today. "It doesn't matter," Lily said, turning back to the window. "I told Ms. Winters I'm not going." "What? Why not?" Lily's hands tightened on the armrests of her wheelchair. "Because, Dad. It's a dance. And I can't dance." The words hit David like a physical blow. 6 years ago, when the drunk driver had taken Sarah from them and left Lily with a spinal cord injury, the doctors had prepared him for the physical challenges. But no one had warned him about moments like this, moments when he'd have to watch his daughter confront the limitations of her new reality and feel utterly helpless to fix it. "Lily, that's not. Can we just not talk about it?" She cut him off. "I have a math test today. I need to review my notes." David recognized the stubborn set of her jaw, another trait inherited from her mother. He nodded, respecting her boundary even as his heart ached. "Okay. But the pancakes are still waiting when you're ready." As he walked back to the kitchen, his mind was already forming a plan. Across town, Elena Rodriguez was finishing her morning class at Harmony Dance Studio. At 35, she'd built a reputation as one of the city's most innovative dance instructors, specializing in adaptive dance for people with disabilities. "Remember, everyone, movement is freedom, and freedom belongs to all of us," she called to her departing students, a mix of people in wheelchairs, with prosthetics, and with various other mobility aids. "See you next week." As the last student left, Elena began organizing the studio for her afternoon sessions. The phone rang, and she tucked it between her ear and shoulder as she continued working. "Harmony Dance Studio, this is Elena." "Hi, Elena. My name is David Martin. I found your number online. I'm not sure if you can help me, but it's about my daughter." There was something in the man's voice, a mixture of determination and desperation, that made Elena stop what she was doing and listen. "She's 12 and uses a wheelchair. There's this father-daughter dance at her school tomorrow night, and she doesn't want to go because she thinks she can't dance. I was wondering, is there anything you could show me? Some way I could dance with her? Elena smiled. These were the calls that reminded her why she'd opened Harmony in the first place. Mr. Martin, I think I can help you. But we don't have much time. Can you come to the studio today? David had never considered himself coordinated. Sarah had always been the dancer in the family, twirling Lily around the living room when she was little. But as Elena guided him through the movements, showing him how to lead Lily in her wheelchair, how to create patterns across the floor together, how to make it feel like true dancing rather than just pushing her around, he found himself wishing Sarah could see him now. The key is connection, Elena explained, demonstrating with her own wheelchair that she used for teaching. Dance isn't just about moving your feet. It's about moving together, responding to each other. Lily will feel the dance through your movements, through the turns and the rhythm. For 3 hours, David practiced until his back ached and his feet were sore. Elena was patient but demanding, correcting his posture and reminding him to smile. She'll be watching your face, Elena said. If you look uncomfortable or pitying, that's what she'll remember. But if you look like you're having the time of your life dancing with your daughter, because you are, that's the memory she'll keep. By the end of the session, David had mastered a simple routine that incorporated spins, dips, and synchronized movements that would work with Lily's wheelchair. Thank you, he said as they finished, his voice thick with emotion. I can't tell you what this means. Elena smiled, her dark eyes warm. Just promise me you'll record it. And maybe bring Lily by the studio sometime. We have a wonderful youth program. David nodded, already imagining Lily's face when he surprised her at the dance. For the first time in years, he felt like he might be getting something right as a father. The night of the dance arrived, and David found himself standing outside Lily's bedroom door again, this time holding a garment bag. Lily? Can I come in? A muffled whatever came from inside. He entered to find her at her desk, headphones around her neck, a science textbook open in front of her. I thought you might want this, he said, hanging the garment bag on her closet door. Lily looked up, confusion crossing her face. What is that? Open it and see. With suspicious eyes, she wheeled over and unzipped the bag. Inside was a flowing blue dress with a constellation of tiny silver stars scattered across the fabric. It was the kind of dress that would twirl beautifully with movement. Dad. She began, her voice uncertain. Before you say anything, David said quickly, I know you said you didn't want to go to the dance. And if you really don't, that's okay. We can stay home and watch movies and eat ice cream until we're sick. But I thought, maybe you might change your mind. Lily touched the dress, her fingers tracing the stars. It's beautiful, but I told you, I can't. Dance? David finished for her. Actually, I've been doing some research on that. And some practice. He pulled out his phone and showed her a video of him and Elena demonstrating the wheelchair dance moves he'd learned. Lily watched in silence, her eyes growing wider. When the video ended, she looked up at him, a mixture of hope and fear on her face. You did this? For me? David knelt in front of her wheelchair. Lily, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do for you. Nothing. And if you want to dance tonight, I promise you we will dance. Really dance. But it's completely up to you. For a long moment, Lily just stared at him. Then, slowly, a smile spread across her face, a real smile, the kind he hadn't seen in too long. Can you help me with my hair? She asked. The school gymnasium had been transformed with twinkling lights and paper streamers. Fathers and daughters in their finest clothes moved across the dance floor while a DJ played a mix of current hits and classics. David and Lily arrived during a slow song, and he could feel her tense beside him as they entered. We can just watch for a while, he suggested, parking her wheelchair at the edge of the dance floor. Lily nodded, her hands fidgeting with the fabric of her new dress. She looked beautiful, her hair styled in an elaborate braid that had taken David 3 YouTube tutorials and 5 attempts to master. They sat watching as the song ended and the DJ announced a special father-daughter spotlight dance. A spotlight began moving around the room, eventually landing on David and Lily. "Looks like we have some newcomers," the DJ called out. "Come on out to the floor." All eyes turned toward them. David saw Lily shrink into herself, her face flushing with embarrassment. "We don't have to," he whispered. But then something shifted in Lily's expression. She straightened her shoulders and looked up at him with determination. "Yes, we do." As they moved to the center of the floor, the crowd parted. David could hear the whispers, see the pitying looks. Lily must have noticed too, because she suddenly stopped, her hands gripping her wheels tightly. "I'm in a wheelchair, Dad," she said, her voice carrying in the sudden quiet. "But that doesn't mean I can't have my father-daughter dance." David's heart swelled with pride. He bowed formally to her, just as Elena had taught him. "May I have this dance, Ms. Martin?" The DJ, sensing the moment, started playing Vienna by Billy Joel, Sarah's favorite song, the one she used to sing to Lily as a lullaby. David had requested it specifically. And then they were dancing. David guided Lily's wheelchair in the patterns they had practiced, spinning her in graceful arcs across the floor. He dipped her chair back carefully, making her laugh with surprise. They moved in perfect synchronization, the wheelchair becoming not an obstacle but an extension of their dance. The crowd, initially silent with shock, began to applaud. Some were wiping away tears. But David barely noticed them. All he could see was Lily's face, alight with joy, her eyes shining as they moved together to the music that connected them to Sarah. As the song reached its crescendo, David executed the final move Elena had taught him, a series of quick turns that made Lily's dress flare out around her like blue waves under a starry sky. The crowd erupted in cheers, but in that moment, it was just father and daughter, dancing as if they'd been doing it all their lives. When the music ended, Lily looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you, Daddy," she whispered, using the name she hadn't called him since she was small. David knelt beside her wheelchair and pulled her into a hug, his own eyes wet. "Thank you for dancing with me," he said. The video of their dance, captured by one of the teachers, went viral overnight. By Monday morning, local news stations were calling, asking to interview the father and daughter who had redefined what a dance could be. But the real change happened more quietly. The following week, David took Lily to Harmony Dance Studio to meet Elena. As Lily watched the adaptive dance class in session, her eyes grew wide with possibility. "Do you think I could learn to do that?" she asked, pointing to a teenage girl in a wheelchair performing an intricate solo routine. "I think you can learn to do anything," David told her. 6 months later, Lily performed in her first dance recital at Harmony. David sat in the front row, recording every moment as his daughter moved across the stage with newfound confidence, her wheelchair no longer a limitation but a partner in her expression. After the recital, as they were leaving the theater, Lily stopped suddenly and turned to look up at him. "Dad? Do you think Mom would be proud of us?" David thought about how far they'd come since that night at the school dance. How Lily had joined not just Elena's dance class but also a wheelchair basketball team. How he'd started a support group for single parents of children with disabilities. How they were learning, day by day, to build a life full of possibility rather than limitation. "I know she would," he said. "She is." Lily smiled and reached for his hand. "Then let's keep making her proud." As they headed home together, David reflected on how a single dance had changed everything. Sometimes the most profound journeys begin with just one step, or in their case, one spin across a gymnasium floor. What had started as his desperate attempt to give his daughter one special night had become the beginning of a new chapter for both of them, one where they faced the world not as a broken family marked by tragedy, but as a team, moving forward together in perfect rhythm. If this story touched your heart, please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these powerful stories of ordinary people facing extraordinary challenges with courage and love. Remember, sometimes the most beautiful dances in life are the ones we never expected to perform. Until next time, keep believing in the power of love to transform even our most difficult moments into opportunities for grace.